Greetings, travelers.
Greetings, travelers.
Oh my goodness, we made it.
Did you make it, Mark?
I'm here about 50%. The squonk flu laid a mighty blow upon us, and those of us who were there, we loved the show. It was one of the best shows we've been to. I mean, it is right up there, Mothman level, MegaCon level. We just had so much fun at that event. Thank you, everybody who puts on Squonkapalooza. We will be back every year if you'll have us. We loved it, and the crowd was great for our panel. But on the ride home, something was amiss. And by the next day, Carrie was out, Bo was out, and then it hit me in the face. And it's been a week, and I'm still not over it.
Well, there is a little bit of irony in the true sense of the word irony here, which is we were out on one of our adventures the Monday before. And on Thursday, when we were supposed to be ready for this, I came down with COVID and we were all freaked out because you guys tested too to make sure you didn't have COVID. I was showing symptoms of that. And then I tested absolutely glaringly COVID. And then I didn't go because of the COVID. And then you guys came back with the squonk flu.
Yep. And then, and you're better. And
I'm way better.
I'm about 70, 80% just living on Theraflu and all the meds that the docs can give me.
Well, you gotta love the
trying to recover because I've got more events coming up that I may have to cancel. We'll see.
Yeah, well, we do have Dragon Con, which I still think, even if you have to cancel, we have Dragon Con at the end of this month. And then it's gone live. There are only 15 slots of our North Carolina Bigfoot adventure.
You can find I will not miss that. I mean, if I have to be in one of those malaria tents, I'll still be
I'm
there.
I'm gonna put you in a bubble so you could be the storyteller in the bubble, kind of like the boy in the bubble.
I am the boy in the bubbles.
Today we're gonna do some listener questions, but a little different for the audience as you're either watching us or listening. I'm gonna read them just because Mark is at 50% and I'm at like 90%. So I'm gonna.
I don't want to cough all over and make poor Bo have to edit the edit button because I may not kick the cough button as fast as I am good at.
Yeah, so here we go. I'm going to start and we will go from there. Thank you, everyone who sends them in. A reminder, if you go to eerietravels.com, contact us page, send us any questions or stories. We absolutely love these episodes. So, okay. The first question, Mark, is there any way to find out if someone has an evil or bad spirit following them? This is from Lynn.
Hello, Lynn. Hi, Lynn. That's a great question. Yes, there are lots of ways. One is if you have lingering illnesses that seem to constantly affect you.
Don't make yourself laugh too hard. Oh, my God. Yeah. Lynn, here's what I would recommend. We've had many people who are empaths and witches on the show. Serenity Jenny is one. We've had the Bone Witch on this show. We've had a lot of people that, the Swamp Witch, we've had a lot of witches. So I would recommend reaching out to one of them and see what they perceive or find a medium in your area. But make sure whatever they say rings true for you. Because you don't want somebody going, oh, there's a demon following you. No, but you might have picked up something along the way. We all have that we unknowingly pick up little tag-alongs that can sometimes linger. And then, we don't know what they are. It's a preternatural thing, but a lot of times, like Serenity Jenny can help find it, and remove it. Phyllis is another good one of the show. Lots of friends of the show.
Just reach out in your local area. There are lots of local spell groups, and then our couple Facebook groups that have been following us. The Appalachian Witch Community, very strong followers of ours. That's where we get a lot of these messages from. And then they reach out to us, on our Facebook page and our Discord. Another great place to reach out. But there are always places to check. And if you have problems with it, there are plenty of intentions to get rid of them. So
exactly. And a lot of it is your intention. So be willing to just even say it out loud, like go outside and just project it and push it out in the world. That may help a little as well. Do
Yeah.
not burn sage all over the house. That's not the answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
that can lead to other things, but yeah.
Yeah, I could do some other fun stuff. Okay. Thank you, Lynn.
Good way to start off. Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one, Mark. Does anyone know of a demonic creature that looks like a turtle but walks upright with spikes on its back and long fingers with claws? It comes to people while they sleep or in their dreams and depletes their energy and leaves them feeling depressed and very angry. I need help identifying this entity so I can help my friend fight/banish this. Thank you. That's from Audrey.
Yeah.
Audrey, this sounds serious. I immediately wanted to make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bebop joke, but I'm letting that
I,
go.
I was gonna go Toka and Razor from the terrible second movie, but
Yeah,
it also
but
was a little bit of Ankylos from the Godzilla movies. But no, honestly, that sounds very Kappa demon, like from the Asian mythology. But there's
that's
others that I have heard more turtle-like. The spikes on its back is what's really throwing me off.
it
Uh,
sounds very fear-mongery to me because this
it
sounds
does.
like
It
a
sounds like some sort of
specific
elemental.
fear. Yes, like an elemental thing.
Yeah.
So the answer is probably not looking for this specific thing, but instead how your friend can protect their home and
Mm,
where they're sleeping. And again, we divert to the metaphysical or the spiritual, and I would look for totems that make sense to them and crystals that are protection crystals and things like that. And
yeah.
intention. You need to clean the space, but maybe look back to exactly when this started. And did you A, go somewhere, or B, your friend, bring something into the home?
Yeah, if they're feeling depressed and energetic, yelly, drained, and stuff, or just quick to anger, that can also be that it's psychically draining them. So also professional help of any sort there. So will help in other ways too. So we're not experts on this. We are just we're travelers and we're learning too. So reach out
Reach
to
out
others.
to
I sent
your
you a few links when I got this because I knew this one was important. But good luck and please follow up with us. Let us know if any of the stuff we sent helped.
yes, please. And or if you need more help, we can get you more people. Okay, here we go. There seems to be a theme as I'm starting to read this one too. Okay.
The first few were definitely right after I guess we had the Bone Witch on, and
Yeah,
that's when all these flooded in. So
yeah,
I keep them in
actually.
the order they come in. So
Yeah, no, totally. Okay. Okay, witches and travelers. I keep losing stuff. Oh, that's not a witch. Okay. I have a very small house. I'll lose things like one shoe, my sunglasses. I look everywhere and can't find them. And a few days later, I find them in weird spots. So either I have a brain tumor or I think I pissed off the Fae, but I don't know how. How can I reconcile this? I know they're little tricksters. Thanks, Anne. And you nailed that right on the head. And you didn't necessarily upset them, you let them in.
yeah,
So I liked it. Who I just got goosebumps. I really akin a lot of Faye to like Tinkerbell is described. They have one emotion at a time. And
yeah,
I don't think it's necessarily evil. They're just very playful. And if it's not defined as yours, then it's defined as theirs. So I would suggest putting out that they need to return things. And what we always say about the Fae is they like sweet things and they like shiny objects. So, like a little apple pie from the store, those little ones in the packages. And also, you can get shiny rocks at like the Dollar Tree, like fake little gem things.
yeah,
Just put them and then maybe put them right outside your house and say, I'm going to put these out here so you can be out here, but you have to very clearly state your intentions and
yeah.
tell them you need all of the stuff returned and you're giving them this in exchange. That's my recommendation, Mark.
Yeah, it's very similar. Just treat them like you do crows. Have an area for them. You can leave them treats outside, and then they will bring you trinkets in exchange. I'm a big fan of the Dresden Files, and I love that Harry gives them pizza and has taught them how to order pizza
Do
themselves.
not teach them how to order pizza and do not, no, don't do that.
but just, make, again, they are tricksters, you're right, but they also honor agreements. So they have their own sense of honor. So just treat them right, they'll treat you right. That's all.
Exactly. I'm not sure how you let one in, but well done, Anne.
Eh, they may have been
Yeah.
there before you. Who knows?
Yeah. And at least they're returning things. That's a
Yeah,
plus. Sometimes they don't.
they're just
Okay.
playing games.
Yeah. Here we go. Hey, Erica and Mark, I need advice.
Oh,
Okay. My 12-year-old child is interested in learning all the quote unquote witchy stuff, and
hmm.
most especially interested in Ouija board and other methods of communicating with the spirit. Oh no. Okay.
About
I'm
the
going to finish this.
12-year-old years. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm in the nope stage already. Her new friends at school are apparently part of a covenant she wants to join. I always felt that you should be very well educated in those areas and your brain fully developed before delving into that part of the world. I know belief in the Ouija boards vary, but I do believe that you can invite negative energy.
Very
I've
true.
always been lightly witchy and rather intuitive. I have a friend who is a medium and mentioned many times that myself and my child have spiritual gifts. I've had experiences that would support that. I'm worried, though, that without proper training and practice and a natural spiritual connection, it could be dangerous. We've had a negative energy attached to us before, and another medium guided me through breaking the connection. I don't want to experience again. Please advise how best to proceed. Anonymous.
Mm.
Well, Anonymous, let me just start with no to Ouija boards. No, they're a terrible idea because you're opening a door
I,
and you don't know what you're opening a door to. I don't think that's
again,
played
I
with.
think it can be used properly with training, just like dowsing rods or any sort of thing like that. That's where we defer. But like I said, but you need to know how to close the doors. You need to break the connections and all that. So that's why I don't like when kids play with them, because then they're just playing with them. They don't understand. They're not following the rules, quote unquote. So with the witchy stuff, quote unquote. So I recommend, finding a local proper coven, and having them see if they have a routine reach out group or anything like that that might be able to work with you and all that. And now again, you want to give a balanced approach to this. Don't just say, "Hey, yeah, go be a witch," and hope that all is well. Follow it, keep up with it. I'm glad that she's coming to you with this, that she's interested in this.
I would also look at starting with something like the decks, maybe
Yeah,
not a tarot deck, but
yeah, an
what's it
oracle
called?
deck, a tarot deck, or something like
An
that. Just,
oracle deck,
find what works for them. Ouija is Hollywood. Also, Wicca is very Hollywood. So, the movies aren't exactly the best way to do this. Even a lot of the books are, the fictional books are fiction. So you want to
Yeah.
look into. There are some great books. Llewellyn has a bunch publishing. They have a lot of really good early beginner witchcraft books that I would recommend. We'll put some notes in the show notes.
Yeah,
Links.
and I would see if she wants to get into herbalism and understanding herbs and stuff like that. The
Yeah,
reason I say the decks is because if you take her, she should be able to pick out a deck that resonates with her. There are
yeah.
certain things you're supposed to do with an oracle deck, like you sleep with it under your pillow for 3 nights and stuff. But it will get her to start practicing, and it's something that you can control when you learn how to do it properly. And a lot of these things come with books. Find one with a book, and
Yeah,
you can
and
find the books online
you
with
guys,
how to.
and you said that you have some, spiritual power yourself, that lightly witchy. This might be good for both of you to work together and maybe use it as a bonding experience, but also awaken some of your own talents.
And you can figure there's several witches online too that do really really well with like
Yeah,
the little spells you can learn to cast. And maybe she starts with something that's like a protection spell, and you can do that with the herbs and stuff and figure out what balances correctly and learn the crystals. Like do it as an education,
might
and maybe
might
she
be
can help
something we
educate her
can.
friends.
Yeah, and like I said, on our Discord and on a few other Facebook pages that we circulate, they have a lot of beginner witches stuff. That Appalachian Witch group is really good. We'll put the link to that in the notes too.
Yeah, I agree. But thanks for reaching out. But education, knowledge is power. It's very
So,
Spider
um,
Man y, but knowledge is power. Be a part of this journey with her, and then it'll help her. And just make sure that no matter what she communicates to you, that you acknowledge it, and then you just guide her on a different path. Just don't shut any doors, because a lot of teenagers, and I love teenagers, don't get me wrong, they're at a stage of their life where, genetically we used to be living our own lives at 12, 13, 14, and we're not now. So you don't want to shut doors so much as you want to kind of guide them to the right doors. Because if you shut a door, then they tend to go hide behind it.
Yep.
So, and do weird
Remember, we
stuff.
are the weirdos, mister. So,
We are the ones your parents warned you about. But
all
thank you,
right.
Anonymous. I hope that helps, and keep us updated about your guys' journey.
Yeah,
Um,
please.
okay. Help, travelers. I'm starting to wonder if I'm having false memory and Mandela effect. I vividly remember of watching an episode of Unsolved Mysteries that scared me because it had what looked like what we now call shadow people, similar to those seen in episodes of sleep paralysis. But I cannot for the life of me find any information on said episode. Maybe you can help solve a mystery. My personal unsolved mystery regarding unsolved mysteries. David. You made me say unsolved mysteries a lot, David. Hello.
Hello,
Um,
David.
Mark?
I am not an IMDb guy on Unsolved Mysteries. That was one of the shows that I honestly didn't watch much of. It was not my scene because it was too much true crime. I didn't know it had paranormal in it until after it had already been in reruns for a few years. So I will have to defer to travelers on that one. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
Bo
it's actually called The Shadow Man.
okay. They did. I know they did one on the Hat Man.
Yeah, there's been a few, but yeah, unsolved
Okay.
yeah.
So there were a few. Maybe we can, somebody could give you a specific episode or something like that. There's a great group online. I think it's on Reddit, which is the I saw this thing once, and then you can put in like the most obscure like passage from a movie or show, and people will help you figure out what it was you watched when you were in that fever induced coma while you're sitting watching Price is Right reruns at 7 and sipping ginger ale on TV, and then flip to some other movie mid movie, and you caught the tail end of it as a kid when you were homesick. I don't know why I'm
Yeah,
thinking about that
I'm
right
not
now. I
sure if
can't
this is
imagine.
it. It said there's an episode that aired February 20th, 1996 called Follow the Shadow.
Okay, that might be it.
I don't know if that helps at all. But otherwise, travelers, please tell us, because I could have just made that up because I was clickety clacking over here to the side since Bo
Yep.
has also been taken out by the squonk
Down
flu.
with the
So,
sickness. Yep. All
yeah.
right.
Okay.
Squonk
Thank you,
flu,
David.
baby.
I
Squonk
hope that
flu.
helps. I don't think you're going crazy. I'm telling
No,
you.
no, I don't think you got a Mandela effect. It just may not be in the rerun cycle. Some of those episodes don't ever make it to reruns. We've talked about episodes that networks pulled for various reasons. There was recently an episode of Doctor Who that got pulled because a controversial sports commentator had one line in it, and they've pulled it out of rotation on the BBC.
I found out, I was listening to Penny Marshall's autobiography. I listened to a lot of autobiographies, and they pulled an episode of Laverne and Shirley because it made reference to a lot of drugs, you calling them by different street names. So they completely pulled the episode out of syndication. Okay, here we go. Next one. You ready, Mark?
Yeah.
Oh, here's another one. Greetings, travelers and witches. Greetings.
Greetings.
So, boyfriend and I made manifest jars and money jars last month. His mother passed away Friday morning in a crash, and now he's blaming the spell jars because his mom left him money. I'm so sad
Oh,
for him. How do I convince him it's not his fault? Crystal. Okay,
yeah.
Crystal.
Yeah.
No, unless he is some epically powerful warlock of epic epicness, the
Yeah.
answer to that is no. That's not how that
Intention,
works.
intention. You're just manifesting money. You're just manifesting money. That is not, hey, I want somebody to die and leave me money. That's something completely different. You're fine. You're fine. And he should be fine. Tell him that I said it's okay. Yeah.
And that, yeah, Mark, the Eerie Travels crew disagrees with his synopsis of the situation, but we do send our condolences. We are terribly sorry for his loss, and that's horrible. But no, that's not how that works. It's
No.
interesting is I did a money spell with a friend of mine recently, and I literally had a girl walk up to me in the store the other day and hand me $5 and said, "You dropped this." I didn't. But I was like, "What?" And she walked away. I got a check for $2.47 back from my insurance company because I overpaid them. Like, that is the weird kind of crap that happens
That's
when
the
you
kind
do
of stuff with
stuff.
manifestation. That was
Yeah.
one of those I'll get a royalty check from some TV show I was on back in the 80s that I've forgotten about. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, that's a nice reminder.
Those are the kind of things that generally happen. And I'm not saying you
Yeah.
can't have a windfall or get a lottery ticket or things like that, but it generally comes from a very weird source and not something that has a tragedy attached to it,
No.
because the intention is very pure in getting it. Unless he was like, I hope my mom dies so she leaves me money, which I doubt. I don't think this has anything to do with that. That's my synopsis. Mark,
Agreed.
you good
Agreed.
with
No,
that synopsis?
100%. Thank you, Crystal.
Yeah, thank you, Crystal, and your boyfriend. Hey,
And
boyfriend, it's
my
not you.
yeah, I'm so sorry for your loss. Losing a
Yeah.
parent is tough.
So here's our next one. Hey, y'all. Well,
Hey.
hey. So we've had a series of events happen in the past few weeks. Doors opening by themselves, pounding on the back door with no one there, 3 a.m. getting woke up by things being thrown around the room, just basically creepy stuff. Nope. Michelle, this is not creepy stuff. This is, well, I'm out. Burn it down. Burn the whole place down. Okay, here we go. So last night, after the pounding on the back door, my boyfriend's sister saged the whole house. Right after that, I went on the front porch to smoke, and there was a very strong sulfur smell. And I had the
Oh,
eerie feeling out there, kind of like I was being watched. What do you all make of this? My instincts are telling me that whatever was inside was sent out of the house and maybe was upset about it. I don't know. What do you all think? Any further advice? Welcome. Erica, I can't burn it down. Michelle. Okay.
she
Well,
called you. She
yeah,
called
she
you
called
out.
me. So, since option A is not on the table, Michelle, well, thank you for calling me out for that. Yeah, it sounds like you definitely had something. What I would recommend is you get some iron railroad spikes and put them around your property and do some intention out there. I think that's what you need to do, because
Um,
whatever this is not playing nice, and
no,
tell it it's not allowed in and it's not allowed on your property.
sulfur is a very strong key there to negative energy. If you were on one of the TV shows, you know what they'd call this. So I would say, let me know. I sent you an email back asking if you wanted a team. I haven't heard back from you, but we can get people out there that could look into this a little stronger and maybe help. So,
Yeah,
but
railroad
in the
spikes.
meantime, do what you can. Protection, protection. Let it be known it is not welcome.
And if you want to, one of the things you could do is have your entire family participate in that intention. Decide the intention you guys want to state it in the house, state it outside of the house. You are all way more powerful than whatever the hell that thing is. So, yes, that's what I would do. And it does sound like it probably got mad. Okay, next. I have a question about a place. Many years ago, I was with some friends tripping on Sid, and suddenly the girl driving wasn't driving. You could see the ghost hands over hers, and it took us to Casadega and left the car. And we drove around there, or was windy. And we seen a guy standing outside the house, and then went to a road, and a dog was barking at us, telling us not to drive down the road. It was blocking. It all really happened. And since then, I've been scared to death to go back. Is it a safe place? Donnie. Well, hello, Donnie. Wow.
Ghost hands and all that. Now, Casadega is an amazing place. We've both been there ourselves a couple times, right? Uh,
Yes. The answer to that is you had some assistance in being at that location from a drug standpoint. I don't know how much of what you saw was what you thought you saw and what you actually saw. I'm not negating any of it, but drugs can definitely make you sometimes see things that aren't there. And I don't think Casadega is a dangerous place at all, but you have to go with what your gut is. If you feel like it's not a place for you, it might not be a place for you. There are some places that are stronger and more intense than others. So that is my recommendation.
Yeah. Like I said, Casadega is just a beautiful place to visit. And definitely do not go sit in the devil's chair at midnight because you will be visited by a dark presence, and that is the police, and they will arrest you because it is private property.
Yes. And so that's probably a bad thing. That's our recommendation. But I don't think it's bad, Donnie. Maybe go with a friend you trust.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, Mark, we should take our quick break. So we're going to both pause for a moment.
Prepare to be devoured. The Wolves of Wharton is a 6-part complete book series by Eerie Travels producer Bo Lake. It has been called dark and visceral, steamy, dramatic, and a fresh take on the werewolf mythos. If you like action, adventure, a large serving of body horror, and some steamy relations, the Wolves of Wharton series is for you. Pick it up wherever books are sold or at linktree.com/Bo__Lake.
Greetings, travelers. Now available on Audible and other audiobook platforms, Eerie, Appalachia. Join us, won't you, as we discuss creatures like the Popelick Monster, the White Fangs, the Snallygaster, the Wampus Cat, the Lizard Man of Skateboard Swamp, Bunny Man Bridge, and the Ohio Grassman. All these creatures and more await you if you dare listen to Eerie, Appalachia, presented by Mark Muncy, History Press, and Four Horsemen Publishing.
Okay, we're back from our quick break. Here we go.
That was fun. I had the music ready. It was great. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're back.
Okay, we're back. Okay. Greetings, travelers.
Greetings.
Okay. Walked to work drinking a can of Coke Zero last month. I'm a nurse and I have to tie my hair back in the hospital at a floral scrunchie. I'm in the UK and it's what we call an elasticated hairband.
We call them scrunchies too. Yeah.
Yes, we call them scrunchies. On my wrist that was bothering me, so I put it on the can. About a half a mile from work, I crushed and threw the can in an open bin and forgot my hair tie was on it.
Oh, no.
Nearing the hospital, I realized and thought, damn, I'll need to use a disposable tourniquet to tie it back. On reaching the changing room, my crushed can plus hairband, the usual one I bought, different style country, was on the floor besides the door. How? Regina.
I think you had a friend bring it back to you.
I was going to say, you obviously have a little bit of a guardian something that's like, you forgot this. Here you go. So, Regina, I would just say thank you.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say no to that. So
yes, I would just say thank you because I think that was very nice of whatever it was.
Thanks, Regina, and say hi to everybody in the UK.
Oh, here it comes.
We knew it was overdue.
Yes, the subject line, cease and desist on the subject of interdimensional beings. Dear Eerie Travels podcast team, I write to you again with a warning that must not be taken lightly. Your recent discussions on interdimensional beings have not gone unnoticed. You're treading on dangerous ground, delving into the realms that are best left undisturbed. The entities you speak of are not mere figments of imagination. They are real, and their existence is shrouded in secrecy for a reason. Your continued exploration and public discourse on this matter could have unforeseen and dire consequences. Consider this your final warning. Cease all discussion on interdimensional beings immediately. Failure to comply will result in actions beyond your control. You are once again drawing undue attention. Heed this warning and act accordingly. X. Okay, now I got goosebumps again. What in the heck did you do this time?
Final warning. Interdimensional. Okay.
But
so we don't talk about interdimensional beings.
that we think Sasquatch can be interdimensional
I
being?
don't know. I don't remember talking interdimensional. I think when we say paranormal or preternatural, we're talking about stuff we don't understand. I don't get this. I'm
I'm not
sorry, X. We
sure what we did
picked off
here.
somebody. We thought we were good. We had a couple good emails from you last time. So
Yeah, we thought we were doing okay because I don't remember what we're talking about, but there is some discussion that that's where Bigfoot go and that popping sound and the light. And okay,
we're
well, I'm
we're
not going
still
to talk
working
about
on.
it anymore on this, but
Wow, X. As always,
sorry.
you're the missing ingredient from the show, Chemical X.
Yeah, well, apologize. Don't know what landmine we stepped on, but
Yep.
obviously, Mark, what did you do? No, just
Maybe
kidding.
that's why I have the flu. Who knows? I have the X flu.
Ooh, dire. Okay, don't
Yep.
take out my co-host X. That's not a thing. Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you, X. I would like to say you've
Always
been
a
missed,
pleasure.
but we're gonna do our best. We'll pay attention. Okay. Let's see. So a friend and I were walking through downtown Clearwater, Florida at a liquor store, Sunshine Liquors. During the storm this afternoon, we heard a native-esque chant in the parking lot. Once back in the car, I asked my friend if she heard the same. She had. No one else was there. Any ideas? Axel.
Yeah, that would have been during the tropical storm hurricane that came through, Debbie, I'm assuming. And yeah, that's very much the shaman of Felipe Park. There's also some other native lore that they protect the bay from the storms and steer the storms away. That's why there's no direct hits on Tampa Bay. That's the common legend. That's in a couple of my previous works.
I
So
was going to say you might have been hearing the previous chant that existed there back before anything else was on that land.
Felipe Park
Yep.
Mound was a home to a major native city, and they supposedly had summoned an earth spirit to fight the storms.
You might have heard that call to the earth spirit again, that they might have just put on sort of a stone tape repeat for when these things happen.
You just experienced something preternatural. Congratulations.
Yes, exactly. But not interdimensional. Okay. Here we go. Poking the bear with a stick. I'm sorry, X, I won't poke anymore. Here we go. Greetings, travelers.
Greetings.
Okay. Is there a right way to approach someone and ask for protection from a curse? I'm convinced my ex put something evil on me recently. He practices magic. I have a friend at work who is a witch but hasn't come fully out of the broom closet. I love the way you said that. How should I approach her for help? I can't do it myself as I suck at it. Jan. Well, hello, Jan.
Hello, Jan, and you
So,
don't suck at it; you just aren't experienced at it. So
yes.
it takes
One
practice.
is
It's the practice of this.
there is a way to put somebody in a freezer, which I discussed once on this show, which is
Mm.
you tear a lemon in half and you sprinkle it with cinnamon and salt, and then you bind the lemon in twine, submerge it in water, and then put it in the freezer with all the intention of the world, including the person's name inside the lemon.
Yeah, the
So,
Appalachian Witch Group has a big chat going on right now, all about sour jars and how to
yep,
properly use sour jars on problem people. Not that I am a fan of doing anything negative to anybody, but for protection, yes, there's a lot of options and stuff we've discussed in the past. The usual suspects, iron in your corners and intent.
yeah, you are much stronger than you realize and pushing him away from you and whatever he's trying because he can only have control if you let him. But to answer your question, I would simply approach the person and go, "Hey, I need some help. It seems like that you have these abilities. Are you open to helping me?" And just if they say no, then walk away. It's that simple.
Yeah, they come out when they want to come out of the broom closet. I like that.
Yes,
So
exactly. So you
don't
are
push,
much more
but
powerful
feel free to
than
let
the
them know that you're welcome to it.
yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jan. Here we go. Hi, ET team. Well, hello.
Hi.
I've seen ghosts and invisible friends my whole life. My brother has never had a ghost experience ever and doesn't believe in anything spooky. Is there a place in Ohio that you can suggest that's more likely to have a ghost? Michael. Well, hello,
Oh,
Michael. We have a lot of
yeah.
places in Ohio, but I'm going to give this little warning. If your brother has not had that, he may be one of those people that just doesn't.
Yep.
It's,
Just has a closed third eye or a closed door up there. And if you
yeah,
push him into something, it might have that door ripped off its hinges. So you don't want to do that.
exactly.
But if you want to say, hey, if you'd like to try, there are some places that I would highly recommend. Moonville was a great place. The Moonville Tunnel is a lot of fun. The Ridges area near Athens is really good.
Isn't there
Man,
a brewery, an old brewery in Ohio that is?
there's a few. There's what's the one I'm trying to think though in Cincinnati? Um,
That's a little
oh,
hard.
it's just escaping me right now. But we've got a lot out there. I'll put some links. Even the old Dent Schoolhouse, which is a haunted attraction, is in a haunted building, so it's pretty cool. There's lots of places, so just reach out. I'll try to put a list in, and we've got a project that we're researching in that area. That's we'll have a
Yeah,
thorough list at some point.
we will, but just sort of be careful what you wish for in that
Yeah,
situation, because sometimes when you open the door, you can't. It is you don't have a door anymore, so there's no
yeah.
closing it. So good luck, Michael. Don't scare the crap out of your brother too hard. Here we go. Greetings, travelers. Greetings.
Greetings.
I heard Erica's dog is named Garrus on a show. Are you Mass Effect fan? Do you play Paragon or Renegade? Who do you romance? If you don't understand this question, just know your dog is named after my best virtual friend ever, John. John, we are two avid players of
Oh,
Mass Effect.
Mass
My
Effect.
husband is a huge fan of Mass Effect as well. One of our cars is the Normandy 2. So that gives you an idea for everybody listening. We're making reference
Callie,
to this video game.
Callie, my youngest kid is a huge Mass Effect nerd, and has all the plushies, including the talking scientist Solarian and other things like that. I am a fan of the 18-hour version of Hamlet performed by the all Elcor cast. So yeah,
So to answer your questions, yes, we're Mass Effect fans. I play Paragon. I play a female Captain Shepard, and I romanced Garrus actually, and
mm.
I on that one. So that hopefully answers those questions. Mark, what about you?
I tend to play Paragon, and I tend to romance Liara and
Yeah.
Tally
Which is
because
my
I like
other
the
puppy
I like the
is
nerdy
Zoe.
girls. I like the nerdy girls. It's I have a type. So
Yes, that is so true with Mark. He does. So, John,
yeah.
hopefully, we just went up a couple notches in your mind as epic Mass Effect fans. Okay, here we go. Hi, Mark and Erica. Well, hello.
Hi.
I just met you both at Smoky Mountain Bigfoot. I got your books and I'm catching up on the show. What is the fear monger you mention a lot? I feel like I'm missing something important. Jean. Well, hello, Jean.
Hi,
And
Gene.
I hope you never meet a fear monger. I will say that I don't think me and Mark know exactly what this is. We're not experts. It's a preternatural thing of some kind. And what it tends to do is be around areas where it can create a lot of fear and feed off of that fear. So, Mark had one at the haunted house, Hellview Cemetery, he created, and his kids ran into it more than he did at first until some very sensitive people pointed out that it was living in this haunted house area of the place. But
Yeah.
I've encountered them a couple times, and usually I feel like you can tell when you're around one because the level of fear intensifies almost irrationally, and every person is experiencing something slightly different because it feeds off of what your fear is. So if you're afraid of clowns, not this is a horrible example, and I'm afraid of spiders, we're not necessarily going to encounter the same thing
Right.
when dealing with it.
You might find a spider clown against you.
There is a clown
These,
spider, which my
the,
friend, who's Brandy, who hates both clowns and spiders, was not thrilled when I found that.
no, they are definitely some sort of elemental creature. We
Mhm.
think they're not a proper haunt. not a remains of something. There's again a preternatural thing we don't understand, but they tend to heighten negative energy around them, and fear is the easiest thing, and so that becomes what's known as a fear monger, and they feed on all that energy of people being scared, and they tend to congregate in dark places that people are just naturally terrified of and enhance that. But that's
Wow.
all we know, and we're still studying it ourselves.
Yeah.
Kind
And
of like
so,
a tulpa created by other tulpas sometimes.
yeah. Or it could be some kind of trickster fae. We don't know. We just know it's something, and we've encountered more than one of them. So,
Yeah, it's definitely not uncommon.
so thank you very much, Jean. It was wonderful to meet you.
Yep.
Travelers in the wild. We love it. Okay. Here, this is says, I've been thinking of Alaska and how most unusual it is. There is a missing persons case and a big search ensued. Then they lost one of the searchers who just happened to be a park ranger. Several days later, they found a snowmobile, and that was it. Stranger yet, there were no footprints in the snow anywhere. He literally vanished and has never been found. Tom. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Alaska's got a lot of unusual stuff, and that's what David Pilates at the Bigfoot conference was, missing 411. That was his big thing, is all the national parks have dozens of missing persons, hundreds of missing persons that are just never found, including park rangers. It's sad. We find them years later sometimes we never find them.
yeah,
So
and I will say that I think that you look at Alaska, and Alaska has more wilderness than even other states, like just because
yeah,
it's the one of the least populated states in the United States, like as far as humans go. And I think that when you have more wilderness and stuff, you have things that maybe we've never encountered before, whether it's something fantastical or just a giant grizzly bear, because a giant
yeah.
grizzly bear could lift you off of a thing and be gone. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's so I'm not saying it's a grizzly bear. I don't know, but I'm just
Who
saying
knows?
that
It's bad things out there. Again, stuff we don't know. So
exactly. Okay. Well, thank you, Tom, for sharing that. And it's weird, and that's why Erica will never be in the wilderness alone in Alaska. You're welcome, world. Okay, here we go.
yeah.
Hi. Well, hello.
Bye.
I met you at Smoky Mountain Bigfoot, another traveler in the wild.
Yes.
Has anyone heard or know of anyone with experiences with Bigfoot in the Chattahoochee Valley? My main
Ooh.
research area is close, but not close to this location. It definitely looks like a place where they could be. Almost reminds you of Cades Cove without the loop. Harley. Well, hello,
Yep.
Harley.
Hello, Harley. And that is a place we've had a few messages about
Yeah, I was
things.
going to say there's been several sightings there, haven't there?
Yeah, if you go to BFRO, they have reports there, and then our friends at Expedition Bigfoot Museum, that
Also,
area has got a
what is
couple
it? Southern
highlighted pins.
Scorching? What is Tim Dills's?
Dirty South Squatching. Yeah,
Yeah,
they work in that area.
yeah,
Yeah,
you could definitely reach out to them. They're amazing, and yes. But the answer to your question is yes. I feel
yeah,
like
and it was
there's
nice
a lot of
meeting
them
you.
all over the Smokies and stuff. Like
Yeah,
you know,
it's like we're working on a book about that. I
yeah,
can't
it's
imagine.
weird. It's weird that book we're working on that should be out for pre-order soon. Anyway, but Harley, it was very nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Okay, here we go. Greetings, travelers.
greetings.
How do you handle when you're confronted about your practice as a witch? One of my patients noticed I was wearing my pentagram necklace and confronted me about it. By the end of the quote unquote conversation, she said she wanted a different nurse. Jasmine.
Oh, well,
Jasmine.
Jasmine, I'm sorry you had to deal with that, but that happens.
And
Uh,
to answer your question, I think me and Mark are very, very confident in who we are. Because the truth is, there isn't, you shouldn't be anybody but yourself. And if somebody confronts you, like a pentagram is a very misunderstood symbol. And there
mhm,
may be times you need to potentially have that be something you don't display if it's in a public area, but not because you're hiding it. It's just you don't need to get into the confrontation in a work environment, for
right.
instance, right? Like as an example, you see my tattoos that I have. I wear shirts that cover up these arm tattoos that I have when I'm working in some professional environments only because I'm not ashamed of them, but I want people to be listening to what I'm saying and not paying attention to my tattoos because they don't get it or understand it. So I always feel like you need to be who you are and determine whether or not somebody being upset with you in your work environment over something they don't understand is worth you changing anything. Or it's just like I do. It's not I'm ashamed or whatever. It's just what I find is the people who are have attention on it. That's all they have attention on when I'm talking is they
Mm.
just see tattoo and the tattoo could be talking to them because they're not listening to me. So
Yeah.
that's how I approach it. What about you, Mark?
Me, it's just again, I kind of go with the flow. Sometimes some people who don't want to talk to me aren't going to talk to me anyway, and I probably didn't want to talk to them, so I just walk away. It's religion and politics, two things I don't discuss pretty much just because it's very personal to everybody. And has anyone ever won an argument anywhere on the internet about either of those subjects? No, and you never
No.
will. And so why bother? Same thing in a public setting. Somebody comes to me like, I can't believe you're. How many people walk by our booths at some of these conventions and go, I can't believe people believe this stuff. And then we go, well, this isn't for you.
Yeah.
We didn't ask you to come to our booth. There's no gun to your head,
Yeah,
so
exactly. And
just
it's
march
fine.
on. You can make a comment. That's fine. Whatever makes you feel better. I'm sorry for your life at home.
Yeah. Sorry, you're not as entertaining as we are. No.
Yep.
We just go, okay, not for you. There's
Yep.
a booth with some beige shirts over there that you might enjoy. So, Jasmine, that's what I recommend. Be true to yourself, but just, sometimes be aware of the audience too.
Yep. And
Um,
then sometimes let her get another nurse. It's fine.
yeah,
Yeah. Not your
yeah,
problem.
exactly.
There was a time when people had to sit at the back of the bus. You didn't want to be part of that. So don't be part of this.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly true. Okay, so thank you, Jasmine, for your question.
Yep.
Here's the next one. Oh my gosh. Okay, Mark's ego time. Watch, he'll be perfectly fine,
Oh,
travelers. So we have this
yeah.
ego question. A few years ago, I read Eerie, Florida for my class. Was the Cinder Lady a true story?
Oh,
Tracy.
yeah. Yes. Didn't we discussed it? We discussed in our recent episode. So this must have come in before we did the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mary Reeser, the spontaneous human combustion in St. Petersburg, Florida. Yes, very true story. We just did a recent episode about that, so I won't go back into it. But yeah, very, very true, and still a unsolved mystery, basically. Although they are sticking with the candling story. So
Yeah, which we don't agree with. So there.
sorry you had to deal with that for class, but
No. Okay, Mark, this is how listener, I'm just gonna say, here we go. I finally found a copy of Bureau 13 in the wild. Mark,
yes.
I read it in one night. It was so funny. I see why you mention it so much. I didn't see any others in the series at the used bookstore. eBay says there are 3 more in a video game. You seem to mention the game a lot. Are you talking more about the game or the books? Freddie. Well, hello, Freddie, and I'm not
Oh,
sure how I
Freddie.
feel about you bringing this up, but Mark,
Well, it sounds like you read the first book, which by Nick Pallotta, which was based on the game, the role-playing game by Richard Tucholka. So it's either way is great. The books are great. There are 4 books in the series. He did 3 for Avon Publishing, and then they lost the rights. He did the 4th one as a self-pub, which was like a prequel to the whole series. And then he intended to write a couple more, but he passed away. Richard Tucholka, who wrote the role-playing game, the role-playing game is a lot of fun. We played it for years, my local gaming group and we had a lot of fun with it. I love it because it could literally be anything. And I got to use a lot of my folklore and stuff like that in it. Now, there was a video game
which I just
based
recently
on the role-playing
rebought
game.
for you.
Yes, you got me a copy. And it's a point and click adventure, old school style, very loosely based on the stuff, but it's a fun little side trek too. Anything I can get in the Bureau 13 universe, I'm happy with. So
Yeah. So well done,
any of those
Freddie,
are
on
great.
that.
I would try to get the books if you can. They are kind of pricey because they are all out of print. There's a rights issue with the books and the games. So the games you can get on demand. Drive Through RPG, I think, has them for print on demand.
Thank you, Freddie, and don't ever bring up Euro 13 again. Just kidding.
Thanks, Freddie.
Greetings, travelers. Greetings.
Be ready for our deep dive episode.
I loved your
Greetings.
episode. We're not doing a deep dive episode on Bureau 13. You bring it up all the
Oh,
time.
heck yeah, 3-hour episode. I've been working on it for a year.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, okay. Greetings, travelers. Greetings. I loved your episode on the 1952
Greetings.
UFO in Washington. Did you realize that's the same year as Flatwoods and a bunch of other UFO stuff? I found all of you from your interview on Wild and Weird. I'm hooked on you as well, David. Well, hello, David. And yes, we did realize
David?
all of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we mentioned all that. 1952 was a major year. It's the Wayback Machine gets a lot of use there. So,
It does, and that's why we're in trouble from X now. So that's what we're going to say about that. No, I think that there is a lot of stuff, and I've mentioned it before that I think a lot of that is around the fact that that year, around that time period, is when we started having more than just sort of machine guns on planes. We had missiles, and so that I think changed the world of the extraterrestrial for them. Going, oh gosh, they have weapons now that can actually shoot us. So. I have a whole theory, but that's as far as I'm going to go.
That's also shortly after the atomic bomb, and we started going fully atomic everywhere, and we started our early space program. I think that's when they started paying attention to us. So that's why we started seeing a lot more unusual things in the skies.
It's true. But David, we're glad you joined us.
That's my theory.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So next one. More Mark ego. I can only, there's 2 more Mark egos. Okay, I'm going to do this one. Here we go. I have a question for you all. I was watching an episode of Ancient Aliens and saw Mark Muncy on it. Is that you? It must be because you talked about the haunted road in Florida. Your eyes look like they were white and blue. Was that contacts? Shannon. Well, Mark. Oh, I lost Mark out of the studio. His internet must have taken a dive. X was not happy with what he was saying. To answer your question, though, before he bounces back in, Shannon, the answer is yes, absolutely. That was Mark on Ancient Aliens. His eyes, at a time, he would wear these contacts that were white contacts. And so you see him, like, even on his picture on Paranormality magazine, he had those. It was part of his Hellview Cemetery caretaker outfit that he would do as he walked you through or invited you into the haunted house. So yes, those are contacts. Yes, that was Mark Muncy. Yes, you're going to stroke his ego by mentioning Ancient Aliens. And if you happen to know what episode number, that would be great because Mark has forgotten what episode it is. So
yeah,
he
I've
can
never seen it. I've never seen it because I don't watch the show, but and there's 13 seasons of it, so I never actually got to it. I recorded that interview with a German talk show, and they sold it to Ancient Aliens, and that's how I got on that show.
Yeah,
it took a 30-minute episode and cut me down to about a minute and a half, I've been told. So
yes, Haunted Roads in Florida by Mark Muncy. We hear about it all the time, Shannon, to be honest with you. And he likes to hear it, so it's fun. Okay, here we go. I watched your live listener tales, and I swear there's a corpse behind Mark on the camera.
What?
My husband thinks she might have gotten away with murder. I'm sure it's a prop, or Erica would have called the police. So what's behind Mark on the couch? Inquiring minds want to know. Tammy. Well, inquiring minds, who you see back there on the couch is Clem.
Clem.
Mark, do you want to talk about Clem?
Clem was created by Distortions Unlimited for Hellview Cemetery, one of our props. It's a half torso. He's made of foam. He was kind of like our yard gnome that you take everywhere. For Hellview, we would bring him everywhere to promote Hellview Cemetery. The Hawaiian shirt he has is an interesting story. That was, talk about our fearmonger. I was wearing that shirt when we were dealing with whatever was in the kid's room one day, and I got grabbed and thrown into a closet door, me at 300 plus pounds, and it ripped that shirt and it looked like claw marks on it. So when we decorated Clem with it, it looked like a torn up shirt. I kept it kind of just as a reminder of what we got rid of that night. So Clem, it fits appropriately. So
And
there you
no,
go.
Mark has not murdered anybody. He does have a couple haunted dolls behind him
Yeah,
and a very terrified
that
teddy
doll we're
bear.
still looking for a home for, and then the teddy bear was an Alan Hops from Dark Hour and Stiltby Studios. It's a prop that does a cool thing, and then the Folk Moon is just some folk art we found recently, and then my plushie instead of Han and Carbonite, it's Ash and Carbonite from Evil Dead.
Yes, so no dead bodies on the couch. So
No,
yeah.
I haven't gotten away with murder that anybody can prove yet.
And he doesn't keep souvenirs like that from it. He keeps different souvenirs. And
No,
now we're
I've
going to
learned.
be hunted. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tammy, that was a fun question.
Thank you,
Okay.
Tammy. I think this is our last one, Erica.
It
We
is
made
our
it.
last one, and you've made it mostly besides the internet gods taking you out for a moment.
Yeah, for a few moments there.
Here we go. So when I was younger, probably under the age of 10, I used to be able to walk halfway down my staircase and float down the other half. Every single time I tell someone the story, they think I'm crazy. I'm 100% positive I was able to. I remember it clear as day from my childhood best friend also remembers it. I'm not sure why or how I was able to do this. Then one day it just stopped and I wasn't able to do it anymore. I always wonder what made this possible for me to do. Abby. Well, Abby, I don't know if it's a who or a what made it possible or you just made it possible. Kids can do kind of amazing things. People can do amazing things, especially when they're not told that they can't do
Right.
it. I like what is it? The best way to learn to fly is to fall and miss the ground.
Yeah, throw yourself at the ground and miss, the Douglas Adams
Yeah.
style. But we've also heard this a lot about, to be fair, lucid dreaming. People can do this in their lucid dream states where they can fly, they can float, they can hover off the ground. And then, we've got stories of people who can levitate and stuff like that. Sometimes it's a simple trick, but sometimes it's people are swear they are able to do it. We did that whole thing on men who stare at goats.
Yeah.
They talked about the abilities that some of them were trying to train to do and were able to do it. They felt they could do it. In some of my lucid dream states, I've always felt like I could jump really, really far, like super far, almost flying. And some of that is actually in my head. I feel it as memories, even though I know I never did it. Brain's weird.
Yeah, and if your best friend saw it too, you never know. Like that's a whole thing because again, you weren't told you couldn't do it and probably till a certain point, and then maybe that's why you weren't able to do it anymore. Somebody said you're not able to do that.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much people's abilities to do all kinds of things. Like I look at some of the basketball players that jump really high onto those baskets and I go, how the hell do they propel themselves off the ground? Or some of these, gymnasts that do amazing things. And I just go, I can't do that. Like it is, it would take years and years of training, but there's an ability they gain that allows them to sometimes just soar through the air.
Physics is amazing and mind over matter. And it's all stuff we don't understand 100%. Some people can just touch into it a little more than others. And I think it's maybe you were touching into that as a child. So preternatural, baby, preternatural.
Preternatural, and don't let anybody tell you you're crazy. If they tell you that you didn't have that, they just obviously are not that type of person you can talk to about it. But don't let what they say define you. That's my recommendation. And with that, Mark, we wrapped up another epic listener tales episode.
Listener questions episode. Yes, thank you.
Please
and
keep
we do have a
sending us
listener tales
questions.
episode coming up.
Oh yeah,
because you guys keep flooding us with those, which is amazing. I want to send special thanks to Unsolved Mysteries for airing that Mothman episode because we got flooded with Mothman sightings, as did every paranormal podcast on the internet. So we too will probably delve into that as soon as we can. Just follow us, eerietravels.com. That's where we will be if we have any last minute changes to our plans, but it's got all the events we'll be at and all that. Thank you, patrons. This was a live episode for them that they got permission to watch. And then it'll be on the regular episodes later.
yes.
And oh my gosh, Erica, These were great.
They're great. They're always so much fun and we love them. And don't forget, go to eerietravels.com and send us your questions, send
Yep.
us your stories. Just send us interesting, fun things. And if anybody sees me on TV shows in the wild, they can talk about that too. So it's not all about Mark all the time.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
say,
I know. She doesn't wear contacts on hers. So
I don't know. I don't.
I'll just say thanks again. If you want to send us questions, eerietravels.com, contact us, come straight to me, and we can deal with it. Or email info@eerietravels if you'd like, or Mark at Eerie Travels. Either way, even Erica at Eerie Travels, she'll take them too. But
Yeah.
and we hope to get back on the road again. We're gonna beat this squonk flu if it kills us, and even then, we'll see you on the other side.